little bit of multitasking, and that's okay too. I am on page 81 of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Think possibilities. Picking up from where we left off on Tuesday with the 9 ways a millionaire real estate agent thinks, which was a carryover from Monday when we spoke about success is 90% how we think and 10% skill set, 90% mindset, 10% skill set. So think possibilities. Bottom of the page. Here's what Gary Keller has to say. Just like we normally do, I'm going to really slow down and dig deep into what he is saying. Pay really close attention. Words matter. All right. If you believe something is possible, you tend to focus on the constructive means necessary to make that possibility a reality. Think about the last time you were presented with an opportunity or challenge and you thought it's not possible. Now, when you have it's not possible thinking, otherwise known as limited thinking, you don't see the possibilities right in front of you. In other words, you're blind to the solutions. Now I'm going to read this again. If you believe something is possible, you tend to focus on the constructive means necessary to make that possibility a reality. If you don't think something is possible, then you will be blinded to the ways it could be done. So, question, what's possible? And take notes, right? I just want you to write down what's possible. Here's another question I want you to write down. What if? Stop thinking what is and think more what if. Make a list of your top 10 anything's possible. Make a top 10 anything's possible list for you. Not today, not for the next 30 days, not for the next 12 months, just anything's possible. Don't worry about how. How will show up. Focus on what. How will take care of itself. All right, going over to page 82. I believe there are 3 stages of possibility thinking that people can either get stuck in or go through. Number 1, nothing is possible. How many of you know someone who is a nothing is possible thinker? How many of you are married to that person? How many of you are sitting next to that person right now? Don't raise your hand. This is live on Facebook, guys. All right. The second stage, something is possible. And number 3, anything is possible. For many people, nothing is possible because they just don't think in terms of possibilities. Thus, they take no action and therefore nothing happens. Just like they thought, for most, something is possible because they believe in the power of possibility thinking. They believe that if you think something will happen, it probably will. The problem is they have an erroneous mental map that says thinking possibilities is all they have to do. For some people, they don't get past possibility thinking. They just stop there and they're like, cool, I live in Walt Disney World. It's the land of make-believe. Just sprinkle a little bit of fairy dust on it and life is going to be amazing. Gary Keller didn't say that, I did. Right?
Yep.
All right. And since possibility thinking by itself is so powerful, they do end up with something happening. So they actually get results. But it stops there because they take no appropriate action. Something is all they get. Anything is possible. anything can happen, or something can happen. Now, your choice, which one would you rather have? For a very few people, however, big things happen. Why? These people believe that anything is possible if you want it badly enough and are willing to do, underline the word do about 100 times. If you are willing to do what is necessary to get it. In other words, here's what I'm hearing Gary Keller say, that I say every day: focus on the activities. When possibility thinking supports a big why with big goals and big models, watch out. Anything is possible. All right, think action, top of page 84. Once we have mastered think possibilities, we want to get into action. When you begin to believe your big goal is possible, the natural result is that you start forming plans and get more focused on making things happen. Middle of the page. Possibility thinking must be followed by action for those possibilities to have the chance of being fully realized. Possibility thinking without actions equal mediocre results. Possibility thinking without actions, without the proper actions, equal mediocre results. The problem for most is that they assemble everything they need to pursue success, and then instead of actually pursuing it, they decide to think about it some more. They hide behind continual inaction while calling it something else altogether. Inaction in the form of additional research. In other words, I'm getting ready to get ready. When you are ready, anything short of action is just plain inappropriate. When you are ready, anything short of action is just inappropriate. Okay, think without fear, bottom of page 85. One of the big obstacles for most people who want to think action is they set out actually to take action. Let me say that all over again because I just totally messed that up. One of the big obstacles for most people who want to think action is that they set out actually to take action. They cannot think without fear. They start to move forward, stumble into some obstacles, and find themselves paralyzed into inaction. When you begin to focus on the fear of failure, you're cooked. Middle of the page, page 86. The good news is that setbacks do not represent total failure and should never get in your way unless you allow them. As we'll discuss in the next section, think progress. These momentary setbacks can even represent positives, such as learning opportunities. So never let fear of failure freeze you into inaction. Very little good can happen when you're not acting at all. Okay, talk to me. What are you hearing? How does this apply to you in your journey on a journey with a destination that is assured, right? Destination that is assured means possibility thinking. Matter of fact, it means anything is possible. Not only is anything possible, anything and everything is absolutely guaranteed. Alex.
I think it goes back to day one where it's a matter of a mind tweak. When I first started out, that fear of failure. Oh, what happens if I make a mistake? What happens if I fail? That mind tweak was that, hey, it's not failure, it's a learning experience. And from that learning experience, I build on top of that. So that is my biggest and greatest aha, is that I'm no longer afraid to fail. I'm excited to learn.
There you go. What did Thomas Edison say when he was asked, how did it feel to fail more than 1,000 times at inventing the light bulb? What was his response?
I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 10,000 ways that a light bulb won't work.
There it is. Absolutely.
Oh gosh, that reminds me of me standing on the diving board saying, okay, I'm gonna do this flip. I'm gonna do it. Or standing at the top of the ski slope going, this looks tough. You know, like you said, if you start out with the idea that anything is possible, and you know, like you said, and you also have faith that you know that the journey is going to come out okay in the end, you just do it. And like you said, anything else at that point is just an excuse. Well, let me tighten my bindings, zip my coat up. You know, it's like you just got to do it.
It's called a leap of faith.
What the hell?
It's called a leap of faith for a reason. You've never heard anybody say, take a leap of fear. What else, guys? Talk to me. You know, it's interesting because I coach some of you in one-on-one coaching appointments, and I know where this is showing up in your business. And I know who those people are, and I'm waiting for them to talk and say, that's exactly what's going, yeah, but you're not talking.
I think it's sometimes when it says, you know, ironically, for some people, fear of failure actually motivates them to take decisive action, and that's a good thing. Sometimes people are afraid of success and they don't even know it. Sometimes people don't know what they are afraid of. They could be afraid of failure, but sometimes people are just afraid of success, and it's having the honest conversations. It's, you know, they'll get to the top of the slope and go down, but then they'll do things that other people wouldn't, but they have fear of failure, and they can't. It's not something that people are willing to admit. It's not something that people are willing to talk about, and they get in their own way.
You know, Sarah, you're absolutely right. And for a long time, I really had a hard time with this one. I really had a hard time with fear of success. In other words, what does that mean? Well, let me give you an example of what fear of success looks like. What happens if 2021 is your best year ever? I mean, you double, triple, quadruple what you did in 2020, or you double and triple your best year ever, and you have the most amazing year you ever had. All good, right? Maybe not if inside your head you're thinking, now I have to do it again. What if I don't do it again?
And it also shows up like in as I'm coaching agents and talking to agents myself, in that, well, why won't you make the phone calls? I'm afraid of the phone. Why are you afraid of the phone? And it goes deeper into, they won't make the phone calls because they haven't prepared for what the next step is.
Well, you might actually get a listing appointment, and now what? Holy cow, I don't know what to do.
Exactly. And that's, and I think, and I keep hearing that over and over again. And I say, okay, well, what if you get a listing appointment? What if we do this? What if we get ready for the next step and then make the phone call?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, agents who were afraid of the phone are banging out 100 calls a week, or having 16 conversations a day, or, you know, working toward that improvement. And it's about, you know, sometimes we look at, you know, an agent and someone that does that actually does bangs out 200 calls a day. They're on an auto dialer. They spend 2-3 hours a day doing lead gen. But the reason they're doing lead gen and confident is because they're ready for when someone says, hey, come list my home. All right, I'll be there in 30 minutes. Click. But they've gotten ready. and people are comparing their insides to somebody else's outside, but they don't realize that that person's outside that they're looking on, at one point their insides felt just like yours.
100%.
But what they did was they took some steps.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think back, and I've shared with you guys this story when I became a full-time realtor back in 2002. I had no idea how to do this. And I had a family to support, 2 children, bills to pay. And when I decided I was going to go all in and become a real estate agent, I had a lot of fear and I had no clue what I was doing. But I just figured I'll figure it out along the way. I remember going back to what Sarah's saying when I went on my very first preview with a for sale by owner, 87 East Winds Drive in Palm Harbor, Florida. Nick Ottamanelli was the owner of the property. Very first appointment, he calls me up and says, we've decided we want to list our house with you. Same day. It was a Sunday afternoon. And I'm thinking, I have no idea how to do that. And I called Gary Baldini and I said, I don't even know how to fill out the paperwork. He said, go, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's on this call. She's a new agent. She got a lead. She was given a lead. And it was her first buyer side transaction with a jumbo loan, out of state buyer, out of the country seller, difficult listing agent, competitive market, but she didn't have to know that because I was her lifeline. And that's the beauty of us being in this community and being in the Waxman Group and Keller Williams, is that people are always willing to be your lifeline. So don't be afraid to go do something because you don't know. What I would say is reach out to lifelines, make sure that you're connected in the community, somebody that you could call that's either going to be able to be your lifeline or connect you with the right resource. That I think is more important than, if you don't know, we'll help you. I mean, when I say it was her first transaction, this agent didn't know how to write a contract.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She didn't know how to buy a buyer contract. Her client she didn't even know that the client needed to be pre-qualified, didn't know. Mm-hmm. And it's okay not to know, because the point is you're going to learn and we're going to get through it together and it's going to be okay. And you know what? Her transaction closed in less than a month on a jumbo loan, means the loan was more than $575,000 with someone that owns a business and not a W-2 employee. The loan officer we were working with, he was saying, this is a difficult file. And you know what I kept saying to the agent as I was, her support through it? It's going to happen. We're going to do it. It's going to close. It's okay. We're going to close. We're going to close. It's going to happen. It's until she believed it was going to happen. And guess what happened? She closed.
Well,
closed the deal. And she has a raving fan.
Great job, Sarah. So Karen Afonso, I'm going to close with this. Karen Afonso puts in the chat, and I 100% agree with this. That's why practicing listing presentations and scripts and role play is so important. You will go in with confidence and won't avoid calls. So Tom Brady, greatest of all time, right? There was a point in Tom Brady's career when he was not the starting quarterback. Drew Bledsoe was. Tom Brady was a backup quarterback who sat on the bench. Matter of fact, Tom Brady had never been a starting quarterback, even in his college days playing at the University of Michigan. And he's sitting on the bench backing up Drew Bledsoe. And he didn't wait until Drew Bledsoe got hurt and he got called into the game to get ready. He didn't say, wait a minute, coach, call a timeout. I need to get ready to go into the game. I'm not ready. He was ready because he was practicing every single day and preparing as if he was going in the game on Sunday. Every single week, that was his expectation. I'm going in the game on Sunday. I got to get ready to play. What if all of us had the same expectation every day when we sat down to lead generate? I'm going to schedule a listing appointment today. So I'm going to be ready to hear, sure, come talk to me about how you could get my home sold, so that I'm ready to go crush it. I'm not, oh my gosh, somebody actually said yes, now what?
Yeah, and that's why we have to be dressed and ready to go also.
There you go. 100% Camille. Yeah, I can't be there in an hour because
I have to go get dressed.
yeah, good job, Camille. Yeah, good job. All right, guys, I've got 8:56, which means scripts and role play starts in 4 minutes. So it's time to, what do I say? Time to get to work. Time to get to work. I've got this today. Time to get to work. What's work? Work is 20 conversations, not 19, not 18, not 17 conversations. Because when you have 17 conversations, you don't have the 18th conversation, which could have led to a listing appointment. You didn't get the listing and you never knew that you didn't get it because you didn't make the call. Make care calls, not sale calls. Always lead with gratitude. Shirley, thank you for taking my call. Always bring value to every single conversation. Focus on getting an appointment, focus on getting a referral, focus on adding somebody to your database every single day. Find somebody today that's thinking of selling their home, whether it's 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 6 months, or a year from now, doesn't matter, because a year from now, you're going to need listings. Meet with somebody today who's thinking of selling their home, put them into your funnel, your pipeline. Now you're following up with 250 people. And because you follow up forever, because you reject rejection, and no is not a word that lives in your vocabulary, you're creating emotional proximity. Remember that people will never change their mind, but what they will do is make a new decision based on new information. And because you followed up forever, when they make a new decision, that new decision is going to be to hire you. Make it a great day, everybody.
Thank you, John.
All right.
Awesome. Have a
It's
great
great to
day.
see
Thanks,
you.
John. Thanks, everybody.
Good luck, John.